Hello friends, welcome to Data Pandit. So today we are going to talk about the automation of daily activities. So, many a times developer or any roles which you are going to be working on as part of ATL projects or any other projects, right? So the repetitive things we are do on daily basis manually. So maybe if we don't do, maybe not for senior roles, probably initial days or initial 2 or 3, 4, 5 year experienced people, the same thing they do on daily basis. But what we can do is we can automate the things at various levels, right? For a so think of think of doing the same thing in automated way. You can take the help of Excel spreadsheet, right from the Excel spreadsheet to the Ab Initio as a tool or a Unix as a scripting or any programming language. If you are using, you can automate your process, right? You have to generate, some Excel spreadsheet, or you have to combine many Excel spreadsheet, or you have to join two tables, or you have to write the query. Basically, you have to write a query, and what you found out that you invested a kind of a couple of hours, or maybe probably half an hour, maybe hours designing a particular query, which is very complex and involving many more joins. And then, and after a month or so, in the same project, you are going to need the same kind of things. So you are going to write this time. Let's say you are spending 45 minutes instead of 1.5 hours. So, again, you are, doing the same thing, and you are investing, the time. So, what you can do, you can save your work and at some place, and you can automate your things. So, let's talk about some points, what which they it, will- they may be helpful. So, what first of all, what you can do is try building the generic graph if possible. So because if you try building, so investing kind of little more time, you can reuse this graph at many more places, right? So depend while modifying few things, right? Or so the generic graphs are portable graphs basically. So as much as hard coding you do, this is you are making it static. If you want to make the things movable or portable, you need to make it generic, right? Generic in terms of accepting the inputs, or generating the outputs, or processing the data. So the generic could be at many level with respect to accepting the inputs. So if you're today if you're creating the graph which is accepting the Excel spreadsheet, right? And the data can come in JSON format, or you are loading the data into a SQL server, but tomorrow they can say that we are going to load into the Oracle database. So both the endpoints, right? So they can be made generic depending upon the circumstances or depending upon the requirement. And also, if you are taking a specific component, and if you can export that parameter which are inbuilt parameter of the component to the graph level or a preset level, and the let's say you are joining, or you are processing the many files, Parquet file or ORC file or any other file, and the component is giving the options of all the files, and your graph is hard coded using, but you can export that value to the parameter, value to the pset, and then within the pset you can manipulate, and you can generate many more psets. Like today we are processing Parquet file, and tomorrow we are processing ORC file. And the DMLs, you parameterize your DMLs, you parameterize your XFR, you know, as much as possible, So that depending upon the different parameters, you can configure the. You don't have to touch the underlying graph, and you have to just modify the graph or just modify the project level parameter or environment level parameter, and you can do many things without touching the graph. So when you touch the graph, many things happens. You touch the graph, you modify the graph, you check in the graph, you create the EME data sets, you may be altering the EME data sets and all. So many things happens, and validation of the graph happens, then check in, check out, the tagging and everything. So to avoid that, we can do many more things, right? So this is that, and then automate the check-in process. So if you are modifying similar objects many times a day or many times a week, so what you can do, you can create your small script, or you can create a script on the project level or a industry or a organization level or a department level, so that you can share it, create a small cell script which can automate these things, which can accept the spreadsheets, which is accepting the list of objects, and then check-in happens, and you can the check-in errors you can place in some file, and you can view those in a human readable format, right? So those kind of things you can do, and then automate the listing of the object to create a tag. So sometimes what happens is we can create we have modified the pset, we have modified the DMLs, we modified the XFR, MPs, cases, many directory objects we have modified. So what you can do is you can have a Unix script, so which can go to each and every directory and get the latest C time hyphen F. You can go within the for loop. You can go to each and every directory. From within each and every directory, you can run the find command, and depending upon the change time or depending upon the pattern, you can access that object, and you can list on. So that list can be passed to the different script which can tag it or check in, right? Many things. Okay? So that can be done. And then fourth point is automate the tag creation using the list above deploy, right? So the tag creation can be automated. If you have the list of it, some tag creation is going to be very easy, right? So mostly we create the delta tags, right? So it's going to be very easy for a specific list of objects, right? Project parameter listing. So many times what we need to do is we modify some parameters also, right? I mean, maybe the assignment we modify depending upon the respective environment we are using, development, testing, and production. So depending upon those, we modify the values of the parameters. So while creating the graphs or while creating the development part we are doing, then we can make a list of it, and we can produce one text file, and that text file can be used to assign the parameters at different environment levels. Okay, so that can be done, right? So this is the sixth step: manually configure the parameter file, and then so step number 7 is automate the deployment to the higher environment. So this is also kind of automation. So this is in every project it happens, every organization. This process has been automated mostly. So they have the script, and we need to just run the command, or maybe we probably will hand over this or deployment part to the another team, and they do this automated way. Okay, this is the there. If it is not there, then you will have to create the deployment script for the deployment to the higher level of environment. Then there is an automate the work which is repetitive. Instead of learning instead learn the new ways of doing the things, or learn the new things. Why to do the repetitive work on daily basis? So make your skills employed at the same time in background, right? So don't do repetitive task on daily basis. You assess your work in an hour, and do the things set up, and run it in the background and you learn new things in that time, right? So this is that, and then save your queries. So if you are working with the database on data warehousing application, so if you are investing 1.5 hour today to create some complex queries, and then you save those query at some safe place. I think people do this, and let's emphasize doing this on daily basis basically. So don't save all the queries like select store from this one and that one. So you are going to save. No, don't do this. If you're using and you feel that this is going to be complex query and this is going to be used, and this is a kind of things I have learned, and you can save this query maybe a fortnight later, or maybe one month later. You need to use the same query if you are working in a larger data warehousing project or something like that. So that is good good use of time, right? And good kind of habits of doing these things. See the logs carefully. So this is a very nice statement. See the logs carefully. So some many times what happens is while looking at the error, while looking at the some red things, people go crazy, and we are going to just copy and paste into the Google and go and see. So then there we have to read many more pages, right, in the Google. Before that, what you can do is you just read the error message carefully. So the solution will lies within front of you, right? So analyze. Otherwise, the Google is all there. So yeah, yeah, happy learning. So we can automate and save our time, and that time we can do many more creative things. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel. We are going to talk more about on these things, okay, in our next sessions of videos. Thank you so much.